Thank you for your time. This morning, hard for me to say this morning because it's 6 p.m. In the UK now, but it's a pleasure to be here. I came back from Mexico a month ago. It's still a little bit cold, but we are getting better with spring now here. Uh, I can't see any of you, so because yeah, not sure how the screen works with Zoom, but uh, once I stop sharing, I'll be able to answer any questions you have. It is really a pleasure to be here talking about Durham because, not only it's a top university, but it's a very unique place to be. And I'm very pleased to say that all of our Mexican students, and I actually had a meeting with some of them last week, are very happy in Durham. So, yeah, just to give you some of the facts about Durham, it's actually the third oldest university after Oxford and Cambridge in the UK, uh, established in 1832. So, this is what you're seeing here is the cathedral, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's also where graduation happens. So it's a beautiful site for you to explore when you are a student. And there's actually the castle in front of the cathedral, which is also part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's also one of our colleges. And I'll talk more about the 17 colleges of residence, but just bear in mind, colleges, it's what you need to know about Durham, that it's very unique to most universities. We have 22,000 students, and we are not allowed to have more than that because of how uh, small Durham is as a place, plus being such a historical place. And 32% of these 22,000 are international students. There's been a lot of investment recently in our plans until 27 to a total of 700 million. So Durham Cathedral, you saw there, you might have seen it before from movies like Harry Potter and Avengers. So it's been the set for some really amazing movies. If you are a fan of Harry Potter, you will really enjoy seeing inside. And in terms of location, it's Durham is very well located in terms of transport because we are very close to Newcastle, and Newcastle has an international airport, so it's very easy to get to. We are only 15 minutes by train to Newcastle and only 3 hours by train to London. We are in the northeast, again, very close to the beautiful beaches and also the beautiful countryside of Northumberland. So there's a lot to explore, very easy access. But also, in comparison to the south, we say the northeast is at least 3 times cheaper to live than places like London. A little bit more on the ranking. So we are top 100, as Sophia mentioned before. Uh, if you ask any UK, any British student, if you mention Durham, they will say, "Wow, after Cambridge and Oxford, that's Durham is third," because it is, for UK universities, we are third, fifth in the Guardian, and fifth in the Complete University Guide. So it all depends where you look. But we have 21 subjects in the top 100 QS World University rankings by subject. And 8 in the top 50 and 3 in the top 10. So it is a very, very well ranked university, as you can see. We were also voted University of the Year 2023 from the Good University Guide, which again, this is a testimony of how good we are, because this is a lot, um, from not only the impact on the research is done in Durham, but very much about the student experience, because the students vote for the University of the Year. In terms of our faculties, Durham has 4 faculties. The business school clusters one, and then art and humanities, science, social science, and health. And you can see all of these uh, subjects underneath the faculties. They are what we call departments. So depending on the degree you are interested in, you will be part of one of these departments as part of one of the faculties. So you can see we have a lot of subjects to explore. So going back to what I mentioned before about the colleges, right? So we call what we have in Durham is what we call a collegiate system, or a collegiate experience. And why is it so unique and so relevant to spend time talking about this? It's because this is where the social experience of your time in Durham happens. Um, so when you apply for a course, after you've received an offer, an unconditional offer, you will be offered a place in a college. Um, Places like Oxford and Cambridge do have colleges, and I'm sure you've seen movies where they talk about colleges. The difference between Durham and those two universities is that you do not have your teaching done in a college. All of your teaching will be done within the departments that I showed you before. But the college is where the social experience is, which means you can have people living in your college from different nationalities, different degrees, studying a variety of subjects. But the college, why is it so important? Because imagine if you have 22,000 students, it is very difficult for you, if you need any support, if you want to engage with other students, if you consider the whole university. So the colleges are there to support the students. What I hear a lot about the students, and this actually came from a Mexican student, it's like it's the family you have when you arrive, and when you are in the university. So basically, it's where there is some support, emotional support if you need, they'll guide you. Where the clubs and societies happen, we have formals in some of the colleges. And these are very dinners, social dinners that you can take part, and you need a gown, very much like Harry Potter. I'll show you a photo in a second. So you can easily go online and research about each college and see which one fits more, your profile, because there are colleges that are catered, meaning they provide food 3 times a day for you. Others, you have to cook your own food. Some will have ensuite, will have your own bathroom. Others, maybe they are older, won't have the same. So it is really whatever you feel fits your profile. The most important thing to remember is uh, they go fast once you are asked to give your preference. You can give 3 uh, preferences, and the team will try to allocate you to your first preference, but not necessarily it's going to happen, because it is first come first basis. So but it's an amazing experience. This is what I said about the gown formal dinners. This one happens in the castle. It's an amazing experience, very different, from what people are used to. And it is a community that you can have, that it doesn't feel too big when you think about the university and maybe some of the lectures and classes you're going to be in. So yeah, just to give you a bit of an idea of the the colleges. You've got the names of the college such as Collingwood, Grey, Hatfield, John Snow, and when they were opened. So you see, for example, St. Mary's, it's quite old, 1899, and also the capacity. So you can see, like, if you sum up all of this, you're not going to get 22,000. So some students will be living in private accommodation. But we always encourage students when they first arrive, if they are postgraduate, it's just 1 year to live in a college to really fully experience the university living. If they are research students, doing a PhD, uh, maybe for your first year, come to the college so you really understand the city, how everything works, and then find your friends to move out into private accommodation. So I couldn't, encourage you more, because it is really a community, everything you need in terms of support. And I know I was an international student myself, how much we really need the support, especially in the beginning. That's what colleges are there to offer you. They'll have their own set of support within each college. So, what the colleges, like I said, it's your family, it's your community. What they support you, they will support you with your induction week, anything welfare that you need. They'll be your mentor. They'll have someone that they class as your parent, which is someone more experienced, who's someone who's been at the university for more years, to guide you and support you whatever you need. And um, if you need the other type of support, such as any disability support, they'll guide you, because this will be from the university services. Same with counseling, academic tutor within your department, and also the chaplain, which means they can help you with whatever faith or anything to do with your religion, if you need. I don't know if anyone wants to ask any questions at this moment, because, like I said, I can't see you. So if you want to open your mic and ask a question, please just speak up. The other very interesting part of, the experience at Durham is at the clubs and societies, part of the student union, so fully led by students. There are more than 200, and people are very engaged. Students are really engaged with those clubs and societies. When we say club, we mean more sports. When we say societies, anything could be part of a society, such as, instant noodle society, bubble tea. And we also do have, I'll just show you, a Mexican society. And these are some of the students that I met who are part of the society. And if you are thinking of coming, I can also put you in contact with the society, because they've got a WhatsApp group, so you can ask questions prior to coming. It is a really good way to learn more about what to expect, especially speaking to someone who is here and is coming from Mexico as well. So yes, other societies are very focused on theatre and music. So it's number one in the UK for music. So you've got 84 music societies, around 80 concerts a year, 27 theatre companies. So if you are into drama, it's great. There is so much to do in terms of being part of one society, but also exploring productions and different festivals around Durham and in Durham as well. So yeah, this is, some of the from the Mexican society, some photos, events that are happening. There is also a Latin a Hispanic one that is also available to join if you feel like. So loads happening for you. In terms of sport, if it's sport is something that you're really interested in, we have 700 sports teams. There's been a lot of investment into sports, and there is, there won't be anything that you like doing in terms of sports that won't be covered at Durham. We also have a dedicated career service, and there is even a dedicated person for international students that will help you with, supporting you if you need some help with a CV, interviews, or just if you're looking for jobs within the campus. But also, the interesting thing about the career service is once you are a Durham student, you will always be able to get in touch with the career service for any help you need in your lifetime. So it's similar to being part of a college. You will always have membership of that college, and they have reunions from time to time. It's similar with the career service; they're always going to be there for you, no matter how many years has passed since graduation. So I'm getting to the end of my presentation and we'll open for questions very soon. I just wanted to uh, give you what we have in terms of the agreement Durham has with FUNET, which is we give 20% discount on tuition fees for any postgraduate degree that is for masters or um, PhDs. And you have to apply uh, using our application portal. And I've got the link and I can add the link to the chat as well. Get an offer or an unconditional offer and then apply for FUNET. And if you have any questions, more detailed questions, our Latin America team is more than happy to answer. And this is the email as well. But I'm here for any questions and happy to put the email on the chat as well.
Thank you, Clarice. There is a question. Fernanda asked if the start as a postgraduate student at Durham, is it more probable for me to get an en-suite type of room, or is there a college with more en-suite rooms that I can apply to if I want to increase my chances of getting this type of accommodation?
I'm not sure what you mean if it's more probable. Like I said, the earlier you do, you have more chances of getting what you want. If you confirm earlier you're coming, you will get better options. So whatever you want. Let me just take a look here. But in fact, to be honest, most of our colleges will have a suite. I know in America it's more common to have uh, shared bathroom, but it's not the case in the UK. And I think the most probably you will only have very old colleges that might not have the case of being en suite. So it's I would say probably 80% will have en suite. So it's not something you need to worry very much about. It's just really confirming as soon as possible. And yes, we do guarantee accommodation in the colleges for every international student their first year.
Super. That's very good news. Not everyone does that. Thank you, Clarice. Santos Joel, I have a master's degree in human rights and extensive experience in criminal law. How can postgraduate students actively engage with the Durham Human Rights Center research cluster during their studies?
So I'm not sure how you are familiar with the British system, but uh, it's very much, if you have the initiative, you can get into anything, because that's what the university is there for. So we have an amazing library that, it's there for you to make use of if you want to, and if you have the initiative to, to seek for it. So yes, the center is there, and it's up to you to approach them. Once you are doing your studies, you will have access, and you will understand how it works, and you will be able uh, to use it. If it's not something, what I want, what I'm trying to say is that uh, the system in the UK is very much, um, nobody's gonna come to you and say, "Oh, I've got this to offer you," necessarily. But if you know that it's there, they might tell you this is available, but it's up to you to go and find ways of using it. Normally, your professors will tell you what is available to you. I'm not gonna 100% say that you this will be available, but I can't imagine not being available if you are studying human rights. And you will have, again, I mentioned the societies that you will have a lot of access through this student union, through the societies as well.
Thank you. There's a couple of questions about
Mhm.
scholarships. So Andrea asks if there's extra support for international students like academic excellence scholarships. And Santos also asks about the FUNED scholarship, if it can be stacked with other merit-based scholarships offered by the law school.
So from most of the scholarships at Durham cannot be stacked with another one. So in this case, this is classed as a scholarship given by Durham, in our agreement with FNED. So you won't be able to stack, you will have to give up one. You can have, you can't have both. Uh, so the Inspiring Excellence is 5K or 10K. So if you do get 10K, maybe you will be better off in some cases. Uh, but if you get 5K, FUNED is higher than that for most courses.
Okay,
Does that
super.
answer the question? Yeah, you can have another scholarship given by the university. If it's an external, scholarship, yes, maybe, uh, but not if you're being funded with an agreement within the university.
And Yvonne asks about the scholarship with about the city agreement, Durham and the city agreement.
Yes, so similar. If you, we do have a very, very uh, good agreement with CCG. It's the best one in the UK, especially for a top university like Durham. And if you manage to get the scholarship from CCG, again, it's the same. You wouldn't be able to get anything from FUNED. It's one or the other. Does that but I'll speak a little bit more about the agreement with Cecici. But basically, what it is Cecici will pay 200,000 pesos to the university, and the students are not expected to pay uh, anything. So the university is will accept 200,000 pesos. The only difference is that this is the case of being fully paid by CECITI for PhDs. For masters, CECITI only pays £3,000. So then it's up to the student to pay the remaining to reach the 2,100 pesos or $8,000. Sorry, £8,000. Does it make sense? So basically, the student will need to pay 5,000, which, like I said, is extremely uh, low, and it's an agreement that has been with CCG for some time, and it hasn't been reviewed yet. Uh, and yeah, it is, I think it's going to be very competitive because I've seen the numbers. We've had over 100 applications with people mentioning CCG as as a provider.
So, so what you can do, Yvonne, is you can at the same time apply for FUNED, and then you can because if you get a city, you cannot get FIDER, for example. But if you do get a city, you can get FUNED, so you can apply to both at the same time. So if you're not successful with the city, you still have your plan B. Thank you
Yeah,
so
which is what I would recommend, especially knowing how competitive it is this year.
much. Jonathan asked, hello, as an international student looking for in-campus jobs while studying a postgraduate, are there several options of jobs that we can apply to? If so, is the pay rate enough to fulfill living in one of the accommodations at campus?
I would say no. You cannot rely on jobs to pay your cost of living. And I'm saying this as a student who've done my master's here and thought maybe, oh, maybe I'll be able to do it. And I'm going to tell you why you can't for two reasons. One is accommodation is it's very expensive in the UK. So you are looking at, if you consider, for instance, the stipend that Cecici gives you, right, which is £1,030, you are looking at 70% of this going to your accommodation, because and this is Durham prices that is actually much lower than other places. So if you really rely on this to pay accommodation, in addition to that, accommodation needs to be paid prior to, starting of your studies in the college. So similar to how tuition fees are paid. So if you really um, rely on jobs to pay for your living, uh, you will be extremely stressed out. And my second point is a master's degree in the UK goes very, very fast. And the expectation, because it's only a year, but basically by the time you kind of find your feet and understand how the system works, it's very much self-study, very much critical thinking. So by the time you understand what you need to do to make sure you end up doing a very good dissertation, uh, it's finished. You don't have time. If you are studying and worrying about, uh, you know, living and getting jobs, to keep paying for your living, you will not fulfill what you are here to do, which is to study and have a really good education and really take advantage of what Durham has to offer you. That's my personal opinion. If you can work up to 20 hours a week, and there will be some jobs, uh, but more nothing that it's extremely permanent, especially because it's part-time. I would say it's great for you to have maybe some money to travel around Europe if you have some time and travel around and explore, but it's not that some money you should rely on to pay bills, or food or accommodation, because I think, if you do, you will be extremely stressed, because even though a lot of people, when they first arrive and they see their timetable and they think, oh, I've only got 15 hours teaching, uh, but the expectation is on the other hours of the week you are studying full time on your own. And that's where people, I think, and I say this, coming from Latin America and having this mentality of, oh no, yeah, yeah, I've only got 10 hours, 15 hours, I'll be fine. And actually, no. You realize that it's very different, and you really need to be working full time on your studies. So yes, the pay rate is the minimum wage here is quite good. So you will be getting at least £12 an hour. So like I said, you could do some work at the weekends, especially in hospitality. They always need, uh, but it's really to top it up, not to keep you going.
Super, thank you, Clarice. ¿Alguien tiene alguna otra duda? Aprovechen, aprovechen.
So has a lot of people applied for Durham already?
¿Alguien ya aplicó? ¿Alguien ya inició su aplicación? Supongo que Ivonne ya, pero no sé si alguien más.
Yo sí tengo una pregunta.
Ah,
Sí.
dale.
¿Cuáles son las fechas en donde inician las inscripciones o cuáles son las fechas importantes que debemos de tener en consideración?
Important dates they should consider, Clarice, and when do application start?
Okay, what kind of application are we talking about? Because for applications for September this year, it's already open since last October. What is important is I'm not so I wouldn't know from FUNED what are your deadlines and application dates. But yeah, just bear in mind the deadlines for application. For I know CCG is May. I'm not sure. I think the most important is making sure you you have your documents in place, to get an offer from the university as soon as possible. The one day to bear in mind is if you haven't paid your deposit by the end of July, you will be withdrawn from the system. So that's one to bear in mind, that the deposit needs to be paid. And even if you do get the scholarship from CCG, you can use your deposit towards your accommodation, the college later on. So you're not going to lose the deposit. But if you're not sure, then the deposit won't be reimbursed. They can be repurposed to the accommodation, but not refunded. But also, the sooner you pay the deposit and confirm, the sooner you can choose your college.
Super, thank you.
Did I answer the question all right? I'm not sure what he meant with all the dates.
¿Tantos te resolvieron tu duda?
Eh, mm, well, in a certain way, but anyways, I will research more about it because it's an interesting university. Uh, I have another question.
Mhm.
Uh, m- any other consideration or tip that you can give us?
I think, well, I think the tip that I would, uh, I haven't seen any other university with the ranking that we have, offering so many agreements with Mexico, to support Mexican students coming. So I think it's such an opportunity, especially this year with FUNED and CCG. So I would really encourage students to apply, because what happens a lot with Durham is, and this is one thing I've heard from a Mexican student who is here. When I asked her what was something that that changed the expectation that you expected and was different? What surprised you once you arrived and it started your studies? And she said she hadn't realized how prestigious Durham is, because globally we don't have the same visibility than other universities, and especially a lot of people just talk about London uh, and miss the opportunity of coming to a top university, top 3 in the UK, and actually spending less than going to London and having a proper student experience, especially for a master's degree that it's so short and goes very, very fast. So yes, I would encourage you, to take the opportunity to apply. Uh, and the Mexican Society also is here to help you. And um, if anyone wants to let me know later, and want to join the WhatsApp group, they're really supportive.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They're asking if you can pop the email if they have more questions about the city and FIDA agreements with Durham. So maybe if you can share your last slide, or you can write it in the chat, whatever works for
Right.
you.
So if you have questions about scholarships and agreements, it's just the email is international.scholarships@durham.ac.uk. If you have any questions about, and also if you want me to share your details for the WhatsApp group from the Mexican Society, that's that as well. Now, if you have any questions about the programs or the colleges, then you can get in contact with Latin America at durham.ac.uk, which is, oh, sorry, Sophia, I've just realized I'm sending it to you, not to everyone.
No worries. I'm copying them on the other chat. No
Thank
worries.
you. So yes, Latin America, if you have any questions about courses, colleges, one of the other things that I should mention is we do have a date of what we call the meet and greet, which is when most international students arrive in September. And if you could come to, on those dates, it's really great because we are at the airport welcoming students and taking them directly to the college they are in, or any accommodation they've booked. So it is really nice to have that extra support when you arrive.
Thank you. There's another question from Ernesto. The total cost of the master degree program.
What do you
Plus
mean
the
by total
accommodation.
cost plus accommodation? So
Yeah.
again, Ernesto, it depends because every college will have different prices depending on what they offer. For example, I've heard from Mexican students who are in catered colleges, which is the one that offers food, 3 times a day. That at first they thought wasn't a good idea because it was a bit more expensive, but then they realized that it did help them a lot not to have to think about cooking and really focusing on their studies. So it depends, but we are probably talking about don't want to say it and then be wrong about it, but we are talking about 45 to 50,000 pounds, including accommodation. Depending on
Super.
depending on the course as well, because you have courses that are higher in tuition fees, such as data science, masters in data science, and then less for other humanities courses.
Super.
So, like I said before, the colleges. So I'm just answering Yvonne's question about is there a special college for behavioral economics? Like I mentioned before, the colleges are not related to your studies; they're related to your social life. So the behavioral economics will be based in the business school. not in the college in terms of your study.
Thank you.
And is there any more question? Yeah.
¿Otras preguntas?
I have a quick question, real quick. Does it typically take the 6 weeks to get a response to the applications? I'm asking because I applied 5 weeks ago.
Up to 6 weeks, yes. This is
Okay,
what
good.
our admissions asks for.
Okay.
So
Because 5 weeks ago.
it really depends, yeah, on, but yes, it
Okay.
can.
Okay, thanks.
Suerte, qué estrés.
Cállate.
Yeah, it's yeah. I really would like to be faster than that, but they get thousands and thousands of applications. So yeah, and and they really look into every single one of them. It's not an automated. There is no AI work in in making sure you get the right offer.
Okay, thank you.
Suerte, Fer, espero pronto tengas las buenas noticias.
Ay, ojalá que me den a tiempo para el CCT.
¿Alguna otra
Yeah.
pregunta?
Yeah, I would say it should be okay if, the timing. Yeah, because yeah, that's the CCT. You still have almost a month to go with the deadline.
Súper.
And Sophia, what is the deadline for FUNED? Is there a deadline?
Yes, so FUNED call usually closes in September, so you guys still have time.
Oh, well, yes.
There's another question. Do online English preparation courses focus on specific areas of study, or do they take a general approach? My question arises because I meet the academic requirements, but I still struggle with conversational English.
They will not necessarily focus on specific areas. What they will focus on is what they call academic English, which is very much to what you will need once you are studying.
Thank you.
Yeah. And let me just can I ask a question about your what course are you applying for?
Guadalupe, ¿a qué curso te vas a inscribir? No nos oye.
Okay. I'm saying this because the computer science at the moment has a free online pre-sectional.
Super.
So if it's the case,
Yvonne wants to know a little bit more about the pre-sessional English courses.
Yeah, so there are we have the pre-sectional online, and we also have the pre-sectional in person before you arrive. Normally it's 6 weeks or 10 weeks, but I'm not 100% sure. What I would ask you to do, Yvonne, is email the Latin America team. So yeah, Guadalupe, I could try to ask, find out for you if the pre-section is available for civil engineering, because it's part of the Faculty of Science. So I could try to check. If you send an email to international scholarships, I'll try to find out for you. The same with the pre-sectional. I don't want to tell you exactly what it is if when I don't have the right information here, but I'm more than happy to follow up with the right answers.
Super. Thank you, Clarice. ¿Alguien más? ¿Alguna otra duda? Will be the same for the business school, the pre-sessional English?
courses.
Okay. Have they, you have applied and have they given you the option?
No, not yet. I'm on it. I'm applying.
Okay. So
But
once you apply and you haven't reached that you will be offered the pre-sessional, and then
okay,
they will
perfect.
tell you the options.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Clarice, thank you so much once again for your time and your presentation. Thanks everyone who joined. Very happy to see a lot of you here, and we hope to see your applications very soon and to see you going to Durham in September, hopefully. Thank you
Yes.
so much. Muchas
Thank you so
gracias.
much. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
See you all in Durham.